Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Look at you guys with your blue backgrounds.
Yeah.
So professional. You all look fabulous. You do too, Michael. I would love for you all to start by just introducing yourself and telling everyone the role you played in making this film. Michael, we're going to start with you.
My name is Michael Kehoe. I'm the writer-director of the project Quest of Queens. And it's sort of an opening to a series.
Wonderful. You already answered one of my questions. Magic. And let's go to Michaela next.
Hi, my name is Michaela Reggio. I am an actor on the project as well as a producer and writer.
Can you tell us the character that you play?
Yes, I play Philia.
And can you tell us a little bit something about her?
She's fiery. She's demonic. She has a lot of attitude.
Love that. Amazing. Let's go to Bethany next.
Hi, I'm Bethany Burnham, and I was an actor, writer, and producer on the project.
Wow, you guys are crushing it with all your hats. And Brianna.
Hi, my name is Brianna Gentilella, and I am an actor on the project. I play Britta Bean, who is the bard character and kind of plays the peacekeeper also.
Lovely. Thank you, Brianna. Quest of Queens. I really enjoyed this. It's always brilliant. Like when I put the film on, all these films, I'm like, I don't know where they're going to go. But this one especially had me curious. Even from the opening titles, I was like, wow, this is something really different. And I loved it. And I know it's called Quest of Queens, but I was really impressed. And I loved seeing such a strong female cast. It's all female, I believe,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Maybe the cat. I don't know whether the cat was a boy or a girl. Strong female cast, lots of strong characters, and diversity. I love the diversity. Michael, did you co-write it? Did you say?
Yeah. What happened was I met with Michaela, and then Bethany, and I talked to her at a restaurant, and then when I drove back home up the hill to my house, I immediately came up with the idea.
Right.
And we went back and forth, of writing this first pilot, which was difficult because, I knew from my experience with the films that I've made, you have to contain, in order to get into like a shorts program, you have to contain the time for it. And I didn't want it to be 25 minutes and then we get stuck, playing in front of a feature where nobody sees. So we tamed it down, and we shot one day, and
wow,
and it was really, it was a difficult. I'm very proud of the women in this cast because they put up with so much. The crew was incredible. We had a small, tiny crew in a small little garage, and I guess the work speaks for itself because I was very impressed with the outcome, and it looks like it's going to have legs.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm curious to know about, was it a conscious decision to make something that was so inclusive?
No. Some people say yes.
Yeah, no,
we wanted to make something that was diverse, but I have 4 sisters. I don't consider them women. I consider them my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at this cast, I thought of my family, and that they came through with flying colors. So it's kind of like, I always say this: when you're hiring someone, you hire them for their talent, not because of their skin color, their gender, or anything else. You hire them because of what they can do, and they knocked it out of the park for me. And that's the reason why I think everything worked out. From my beginnings, meeting with each of the actresses and collaborating with both Michaela and Bethany, I wasn't in the room with 2 other women. I was in the room with 2 other filmmakers.
Yes, love to hear that.
Well, that's the way it should be. It should be that way. You never want to force someone into a position that doesn't really know what to do, because they're going to get they're going to be forced into a corner, and someone's going to say, you see, this is why we don't hire women in this position, because they don't know what they're doing. Well, they knew what they were doing. And I didn't have to give too much direction. Just because of the camera was a character, we had to adjust to that.
Yeah. So many questions. Okay. I would love to also, well, you kind of already started answering my next question, which was what I watched, I think ran around 6 minutes. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it's 7 minutes. And,
yeah. And I was like, is there more? Like, it felt like it was a part of something way bigger.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And it just, the scope, it just felt like the potential for something huge. And I was like, I want to see more. So I'm curious to know, you guys, what are your plans for this? I mean, it was beautiful in its entirety of what I saw. I didn't feel like I was wanting more because it was lacking anything. I just thought, wow, this is the seed of something great. So I'm curious to know, maybe Michaela and Bethany, you can speak a little bit on, the plans for moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first started this, Bethany was the original creator of, we originated off of a podcast called Queens Who Quest, and Bethany came up with that. And so when we were doing that for so long, I think we had 2 or 3 seasons out. So we always saw the longevity. And then when I met Michael at my restaurant job, we just continued that beautiful journey.
I love that. And can you speak a little bit on the podcast also?
Yeah, Bethany.
Yeah. Well, I've always loved playing Dungeons and Dragons my entire life since I was 13. And I gathered Bree and Michaela. Bree was also part of the podcast. And I was like, we should have a really inclusive podcast with queer femmes, queer women, non-binary people, and that love playing Dungeons and Dragons, that really didn't focus about the gameplay, but focused more on the story and what we were going through in our lives, translated through Dungeons and Dragons. And that's when the podcast kind of came about. And we honestly just like every single session, we were just making each other like dying laughing, like turning like dead. Like, yeah. So and I think that chemistry is really what translated very well is what Michael really saw. And just really, it was just magical.
And magical is great. Yeah, it was magical is the perfect word for it. I'm curious to know whether the material is completely 100% fictional, or whether it's inspired by either historical characters or events, or mythological characters or events.
Well, I got to say, when this started out, and both Bethany and Michaela were telling me about the story and their podcast, I kept saying the same question over and over again. I said, who sees this? And they said, no one. It's a podcast. I said, but you get dressed up, you do these characters, and no one sees what you're doing. And they were, that's their exercise as actors and companions. And so when we developed everything, I wanted to keep that same feeling that they had around that table.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it was over, and I had been dealing with another series that I put together, I didn't think that this was going to catch on as quick as it did, and it skyrocketed, for the attention with everyone. And I said to the girls, look, I've got to like hide in my house and start writing, and I'll give you a little bit, because I didn't even share this with them. And every time I give them a little bit of a hint, Bethany went crazy, and Michaela, they were both saying, oh, I can't believe the characters, and they're going this way, that way. But they've inspired me to create what we're going to figure out. Mm-hmm. Now, I live up in Laurel Canyon, and I don't know if you've ever seen Echoes in the Canyon, about all the musicians. And so the map was created in 1969 by a hippie who made it out of mushrooms. Mm-hmm. And this has a magical feel to it, as I felt when I was with them and we were collaborating.
Yeah.
when you see the little icon that comes up, the hologram, that leads them to have to go find it of where it is. And every episode takes them on an adventure, and one character at a time goes through a portal and has to bring that back. And it's pretty dangerous because the very first character goes through a portal and comes out in 1944, occupied France, and the Nazis are coming, and she's got to get this token and get back before the Nazis get her. That's only one of like 6 of them that we're writing. And the great thing is, and I didn't want to tell the girls this too much, but there's so much interest in this. And there's a company that's interested in doing this. And what I'm trying to do now is get the attention from the festivals and then go into it and pretty much take the same attitude that I took when I made a little film called Hush that won 34 awards, and we ended up getting the feature through Lionsgate. So this is what I see for this as a series. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I love the idea that you're taking fictitious characters and dropping them into historical events. I love that sort of juxtaposition of make-believe and, it being grounded in, like you say, in history. So I love that. So it's a brilliant idea, and it's gripping to watch.
And and they do an incredible job with their accents, right?
Yes. Yes, you all knocked it out the park. Brianna, I'd love to hear about your experience on working on this project, and just how does one prepare for something like this? Because it's quite different in genre to how would you describe what do you say the genre is? What would you say?
I guess I would say it's sort of a mix between fantasy and drama a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some action. I feel like there's potential for so much action to come into it and adventure.
Yeah.
I had
what's your process? Like, how do you prep for something like this? And how would you approach it any differently to say an episode of NCIS? Like, as an actor, how do you grapple with the material?
Yeah, I think what was great about this was we had the podcast to go off of, and we created a massive story on the podcast. So I was really familiar with my character. She could come out so easily from me.
Yeah.
Like I could just slip right into my New Zealand accent at any time and bring her out. And I think you can see that with each of our characters, that they were really flushed out because we spent so much time on them, working on them, and creating with them. So in a weird way, we were really really special to have the podcast too before it all.
Yeah, it's a good sort of basis or research material.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, we're running out of time. I would just love to know from each of you quickly what your favorite moment was working on Quest of Queens. Michael, quickly, let's go to you first. Favorite moment?
From me first?
Yes.
It was every moment on set with the girls.
Beautiful. I love that. Amazing. Michaela, favorite moment?
I have to agree. I mean, when I arrived on set, it felt like a dream come true. And we had everything set up. The green screen was there. And I was like, wow, wait, I'm actually living my dream right now. Let's take a breath and absorb how fantastic this is.
I love that. That's amazing, because not every job is like that, let's be honest. Bethany, tell me your favorite moment.
Well, I guess seeing the moment we saw, agreed. The moment we really saw everything come together, because, when you're working on a project, there's so much work that goes into it that sometimes you forget about how amazing and wonderful this is. And and then all of a sudden when you see it, you just have a moment where you're just like, oh my God,
we did that.
Yeah. It's just, you're running around so much, and then it's just like, oh, we did this. My God.
It's a dream come to fruition. It's a magical moment. It's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Bethany. And Brianna, for you, favorite moment?
There was this moment where the camera was zooming in really fast on everybody. And I think in that moment, I felt like we're making a movie. And I was just, it just felt like exactly what you think it would be.
Awesome.
It came true, and it was super fun and awesome.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, guys, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining me at First Glance. Thank you also to It's a Short for making this interview possible. Before we go, one more quick question. Whose cat was it?
My cat.
Is it a he or is it a he? Is it he or she? Were they? She was she a diva?
Oh, she's retired from acting. She's very retired.
The cat ran away halfway through production, and we needed her on set.
Yeah.
I have two at home. I was like, they would never be able to sit still for that long.
A great reaction, right?
I know. It was so good. So good. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. I loved meeting you all. Congratulations. And I wish you all the best for this. And I'm really excited to see where you guys go next with it.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you for having us.
So much.
You're so welcome. Have a wonderful night. And I'm sure I will be seeing each and every one of you again at some point.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.